Hello everyone, we are live today again. I hope today my connection is not a problem for everyone. Yesterday it made a bit blunder. I don't know why my Wi-Fi was not working, but today yes, it is working pretty good, I feel. Let's see if somebody is here. Okay, they can join in. Hi Richa, you're the first one always to join in. I'm so happy. Hi Arushi, you're here. Hi Shivani. So meanwhile, till Arushi joins, yes, she's here. Let me start. Hi Arushi,
Hi Anita, how are
welcome
you?
here. I'm
Thank you.
fine, very
Thank
nice.
you.
How are
So good
you?
to see you virtually.
I suppose we have met once, I remember, I think.
Yes, we have.
Yes, yes, we have. Chalo, I'll start. Hello, everyone. Please welcome Arushi, who is the expert of the day. She is a healthcare professional who specializes in clinical management of breastfeeding. She is a certified lactation consultant with us from International Board of Lactation Consultants. And we are talking too about breastfeeding without fear when Arushi is here. Is that nice?
Yes, that's a superb introduction. Thank you so much.
Okay, so to start with, I really wanted to know why and how you thought to be a lactation consultant when in my motherhood career of 4 years, I know there was matlab, no one in Jaipur in this professional category. So
Yes. Yeah,
how you
and that's
came in this?
exactly the reason why I thought that there is a need, because I too have lot of struggles when I was breastfeeding my child, and I the only intention I had was that I want to breastfeed my child, but I didn't know the know-how. So
Okay.
and that's when I started speaking to a lot of other lactation consultants, and then I realized that, oh, there are professionals and experts for something like this, and not doctors are not equipped, to do something to help mothers in this journey. And I saw a lot of peers and a lot of friends who gave up breastfeeding just because they did not get enough guidance. So that sort of got me inspired, and I really wanted to help every mother who makes a choice to breastfeed. And then that's when I started to study about it, and then I took it professionally. And it was a long journey, a 2 years journey, where I was studying and with all the field experience that I needed to now finally become a certified lactation consultant. So yeah, that's how my journey started.
No, and you're doing really good. I've seen you, mothers who have taken consultations from you, they really have very good words to say about you. They always praise you with words ki Arushi is too good to guide with and to get a guidance from. So, my next question is why breastfeeding is important?
So of course everybody knows that it's the best nutrition. Breast milk is the best food nutritionally for the child, but that is just probably the 0.01 aspect of why a mother should breastfeed. I always feel that a mother, if she decides to breastfeed, she must, because if she's not able to breastfeed, it takes a toll on her confidence as a mother. And all we
Okay.
new mothers are so vulnerable to this whole feeling of being guilty and feeling judged. I really wanted to breastfeed. Can you see me? I think my video got
Yeah,
paused for a
now
minute.
I can see you. There was a connection cut in between. Now it's okay, perfectly fine.
Okay, I think I was just a little dark. Yeah. So and I that's the reason why I thought that every mother who chooses to breastfeed should at least get that guidance, so that it does not take a toll on her as a mother. Like the whole confidence starts to go down. And technically, I mean, there are so many benefits, because it's just not the breast milk. The whole act of breastfeeding, when you hold the child close to you, your child can hear your heartbeat. The child can hear your voice, and a child so small can only see up to 15 to 20 centimeters, which is exactly the distance which is when you're holding the child for breastfeeding. So that's when the child starts to connect with the mother, and the whole act of sucking itself sort of
Hi.
makes the
There is loss of connection. Is it from my side or your side?
Mm,
I was visiting?
your video got frozen for a minute, but I'm not sure. It could be my connection too. So, however it is.
Anyone in the audience, can they tell us ki whose video was frozen? Maybe I should shift again to my 4G. But I don't know why it is happening. Yesterday also it happened. Before that it didn't. Let me
Now
check
you're very
once.
clear. You just got frozen for a minute, like a second.
Okay,
Sorry.
fine. So I would step ahead, go ahead with the next question. If it is a natural process, why still mothers are unable to feed?
So the answer to that would be that because of all the medical interventions, the child forgets. So the sucking, swallowing, breathing, basically the whole act of breastfeeding is an innate behavior. That means that the child learns when he's in the
I
womb.
have to switch.
I think it's your network, Anita, because your video is freezing every now and then.
Now it's okay, perfectly fine.
Yeah, perfect. Now you're
I'll switch to photo now.
yeah.
So we were on the question, it is a natural process, but why still mothers are unable to feed?
Yeah. So basically, as I was saying, that it's all because of the medical interventions, like because of the whole, the new protocol that has been followed in the hospital. The children tend to
Okay.
forget how to suck, and it also, so the all the IV fluids and all the medicines that is given to the mother, it also starts to hamper the milk supply. So that is the reason why it doesn't happen naturally. If we are going with natural birth, when I say natural birth, there is no medication involved. There are very less likely chances that you will have any issues to do with breastfeeding. And that's why our great grandmothers and all our grandmothers also, they never had an issue because they were probably birthing in their house.
Oh. I was like me, myself was given my daughter around 6 hours later. Is that the right protocol to follow?
So it isn't the best protocol to follow, definitely. But when we look at the new medical protocols, it's just not, there are a lot of things that they're taking care of because for them, life is most important. They don't
Okay.
want anything, any kind of risk when it comes to the life of the mother and the baby. And that's why all the protocols are designed around it. So obviously it's not one of the best protocols when it comes to breastfeeding or, the connection between the mother and the child. Definitely. But that's not, there is not much that we can do there because eventually, as I said, the primary focus is that both the mother and the baby are healthy. Everything else becomes secondary.
Okay. Can I take in between question or shall I go with the questions with me?
No, let's just take some questions in the middle. That'll be great.
Okay. My little one is 4.5 months old. My BM isn't sufficient for my daughter because she cries even after feeding. So she has started, because she cries even after feeding, she stops crying after feeding her some amount of formula milk and then she's happy. So is it fine?
No, it's not fine. If you are in 4.5 months of breastfeeding, we need to understand that was the supply low from the beginning or suddenly do you see a dip in the supply? Because generally that's not the case. It's not like our body takes some time to, so until unless there has been a severe medical ailment, you don't see a sudden dip in the supply. So we need to go back to the history and understand that why is your child crying after feed or why suddenly she's not satisfied post the feed, because the other myth is that as the baby grows your breast milk amount should also increase. That's not true. So after 1 month the child takes on an average about 750 to 1050 ml, which remains constant till the baby is 6 months. So the
Okay.
breast milk
So,
quantity does not change.
okay. So is the breast milk enough, or if it's not enough, people or the mom should come to you and get it checked? Is that the correct way to do it?
Yes, because we need to understand that do you feel that your supply is not enough or actually the supply is not enough? Because there's a new terminology which says perceived insufficient milk supply. That means that we think that the supply is not enough, but actually there is no problem with the supply. When the baby cries, it's the easiest for the mothers to start blaming their supply. That, oh, I'm not probably lactating enough, or my child is still hungry. It's the easiest thing. But actually that's not always the case. So we really need to go down and dig the history and to know that is that the case or is there something more to it.
Okay. So there is one more question. My boy turning 1 month old this 28th. Nowadays he doesn't latch after 10 minutes. Pee and poop count is normal. Should I be worried? Mostly my left breast he unlatches after 10 minutes.
So frequency and the duration of breastfeeding does not mean that the child is not taking enough. With time, the baby's sucking becomes so strong that they are able to draw enough milk in the first 7 minutes of the breastfeeding only. So in the first 7 minutes, the child takes about 60 to 70% of the milk they need. After that, it's more about the dessert on the breast. So I do not get worried, that how long is the baby latched on. The question is if the baby is growing fine, if the baby is active, if, as you said, the pee and the poop count is fine, the baby's behavior is okay, she or he is sleeping fine, then I don't think there is a problem. So there is no necessity that the child has to be latched on for 30 minutes for a successful breastfeeding session.
7 minutes is okay.
Yeah,
Seven
so
minutes
about,
is okay or sufficient for one time.
yes, so 10
You
minutes for
suggest
a
that?
1 month old baby, it's okay as far as the
Okay.
other parameters are in place.
So I would suggest whosoever moms are asking the questions, please mention their baby's age so that we can answer accordingly. So the next question is, my baby is 2 month old. When he feed, he's crying. I think my milk flow is fast for him. So what can I do?
Definitely
Again, a
that
myth, I
could be
believe.
one of the probable reason. A fast letdown makes the child choke onto it and that's why they cry. So generally the answer to that would be that you hand express the first letdown. So our milk
Okay.
doesn't come in the form of a tap, like it's in the form of spray. So you have one spray, then it pause, and then there's another spray. So the first spray, the first letdown is mostly the strongest. So once you hand express that or remove that milk, then the letdown becomes slow. So you remove that milk and then attach the baby and allow the child to suck.
So there is one more question. My baby is 3.5 months old. My breast feels so soft. Does that mean I'm not producing enough supply for him?
Not at all. So slowly and gradually, your breast will go back to the pre-pregnancy size, and the feeling of being engorged or feeling that heaviness is only during the initial days. After around 40 days, the body calibrates as per the need of the baby. So you need not feel that heaviness. It's absolutely okay to feel the way you're feeling. So the size of the breast or if they're heavy or loose.
Okay, the questions are coming. Matlab, as a super fast speed, I'm not able to get to every question. My baby is 45 days old. He doesn't feel satisfied with my milk. After breastfeeding, I have to feed formula. This question is being answered that it is not like that. And for the detailed study, I think you can visit or you can take the online consult of Arushi, because I think she told that it is 10 months and 15 days. There is 45 days old is 1.5 month. So it is another parameter maybe.
Yeah.
Am I right, Arushi?
Yes, that's absolutely right.
Okay, so next is, my baby is 8.5 months. He's taking 3 meals and one snack. Is it okay? How do I know his limit? Shall I start diet now? So we are talking
Uh,
about feed here, breastfeed here. Are you talking about the same, Bhanupriya? We are
no,
not
I think
talking
he's
about
talking about
meals here.
solid. Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, I would say that it's okay if the child is taking about 3 feeds, like as you said, but sometimes the breast milk intake does not go down. A lot of children, because post 6 months, that's the reason why we introduce solids, because now they need the support of additional calories. So a lot of children do not reduce the breast milk supply, the breast milk intake. So a lot of mothers feel that as soon as you're introducing solids, now my work will become half because the children will reduce the breast milk intake. So with my own experience, my child did not reduce the breast milk intake. He would take his solids, but at the same time, he would demand breastfeeding also. Okay, so firstly,
Breastfeed.
yes.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So
Please go ahead.
firstly,
Please
it
go
is
ahead.
not something, yeah, so it's not something that you really need to be worried of. But if you're looking at dieting, you have to make sure that you're not losing more than 2 pounds a week, because that will make you dip your supply. So more than the diet part, I would say that shift to more a balanced diet and do not keep weight loss as the primary focus, because if you're feeding your child a major crash diet to lose weight.
Okay. So she was talking about food only. She was talking about solids, she mentioned, but we are not covering solids, honestly. We are covering breastfeeding over here. So we'll take it further later on. Okay. Thanks, Bhanupriya, for your question, by the way. Now, one more question. I forcefully weaned off my baby just as sudden. He's 1.7 months. I think she mean 1 year, 7 months. What will be the change in psychology? He will stay away from me?
No, no. Please do not think that at all. Whether you feed your child or whether you don't feed the child, for you, for the baby, the most important person will always remain the mother. So don't even think like that. If you have taken that decision, we all respect that, and so will your child. Obviously, it can be a little emotionally draining for both of you. So make sure you compensate that with a lot of cuddles and hugs and kisses and special time with your baby, and that should be okay. So don't go through that guilt, because 1.7 years is also a very good time to feed your child, and you've done a great job. And now that you have decided to quit, it's absolutely okay. But don't go with that mind block that now suddenly my child will start disliking me. That will never happen. So please
Okay,
be at
so
ease, enjoy it, and just, yeah.
my baby is 7 months old. Just want to know out of curiosity, how do we know the BM supply has dropped down? A genuine type of a question. I also felt the same.
So there is never a drop. As I said, the breast milk quantity required by the child remains constant. So, if your
Hmm.
size, suddenly your breast size has reduced, or you're not feeling that heaviness, or the duration of the feed has gone down, that has nothing to do with your supply. All I would say is that if your baby is in 7 months, go with the flow, allow it to be baby led. Whenever your child is offer the breast, and now you always have the solids to support. So that's why it's called complementary feeding. So post 6 months, breast milk is not the only source of nutrition. So it shouldn't be any cause of worry that, if I'm producing enough or not, because any which way the baby will start taking solids.
Okay. My son is 2.5 months old. Sometimes he took feed only from one side and completely refused taking from the other. Why this happens and what can I do so that he take feed from both the sides?
Generally, if a child has a preference, it's not the baby's preference, it's the mother's confidence in holding the baby. So because the mother is very
Oh,
confident in holding the baby from one side, if you're a righty or a lefty, so that the child becomes comfortable taking from the other side, from that side. And the other side, because the mother is struggling, holding the baby more comfortably, the child also starts refusing. So most likely, first work on getting confident in holding the baby from both sides, because generally children have no preference. This is mostly the primary cause. The other cause can be an infection, which we need to dwell into more in detail, but that's a very less likely cause. The most common cause is that it's your preference in holding the baby.
so the hold and sitting posture also matters while you breastfeed.
A lot. I think that's
Oh,
the That's the most important thing, because when we eat, when we adults eat, we always sit comfortably on a chair and we keep our plate in front of us, right? Imagine if you are made to hang on a rope and now you're saying, please have your sandwich. I don't think we will ever be able to do that. So
No,
if the
no, no,
child is
no.
not held comfortably, and if the child is going here and there, their entire concentration is that, oh my God, what if I fall? So they can't concentrate on their feed. So positional stability, or in layman language, in the confidence in holding the baby, is a very important factor in how successful you'll be able to breastfeed.
So, a related question, if the baby is taking just from one breast and not from the other, will there be a change in the size or engorgement possible?
No, so generally we say alternate the breast. So a child takes about 8 to 12 times a day. So you offer both the breast. So you alternate it. Now that you fed from the right, in the next feed, offer the left side first. So then you will not see a difference in the size of the breast.
Okay, and some babies don't want to feed at night or may get only one or twice. So, can it be a reason to reduce the supply?
No. So such children, they have a natural tendency to tank up before they go for one long stretch. So children who are sleeping for very
Okay.
long, you will see that they are, they sort of cluster feed. So they take about in an every hour they'll take, and then they'll go for one long stretch. So every child has a different pattern, and it's all about that, sync between the mother and the baby. So there is absolutely no problem. It will not lead to a dip. So the mother doesn't have to be worried that, oh, I need to wake up and pump every 2 hours if my child is not waking up. That's not how it works. Breastfeeding is
So,
more like a communication between the mother and the baby. So the more you understand your child's behavior, the better it will be for you as a mother.
I have my question. I didn't breastfeed my baby, but I only offered her breast milk till 1 year, at least I would say. My baby didn't latch for 9 months, and after that, suddenly, in the 10th month, she latched. What could be the possible reason for that? Because that is past, which has gone. But if I can know what could be the possible reason for my knowledge.
It's the bonding. So a big part about breastfeeding is bonding between you and your child. So suddenly when you
Okay.
start to feel that bond between your child, and when you're comfortable in holding the baby, the child is okay to start latching. So we don't realize that anything that we think or anything that we feel rubs onto the baby. We feel that, oh, I'm trying, but in the heart we are very scared, we are very worried, we're not sure if we can breastfeed. There's a lot of self-doubt in us. So the child reflects that. So with like now you naturally said that after 9 months also it's possible that the baby latches. So it's never too late to start. A lot of mothers
Nahin,
think that.
I always tried with her daily on a daily basis. I made her latch, and when she don't latch, I give that expressed breast milk to her. But suddenly one day after the completion of 9 months, she latched.
Yeah,
So
so
it was
if you dig deep, you'll see that your whole feeling towards your baby must have changed, and that is what she reflected. Because with every it is also possible for an adopted mother to start feeding the baby even when she hasn't gone through the whole pregnancy process. And the only card that we are playing on is the motherly instinct, that motherly love. That's the only thing that we have in our hands on which basis we are able to relactate a mother who has adopted a child. So that's how strong motherhood and that whole feeling of that love that comes from within when you hold your baby, or that is what helps in boosting of that hormone and you start lactating. So that's
energies are so powerful.
it is so powerful, and it is all science. I'm not talking from superstition. Like, I have seen that happening, and you are also one of the examples. So that's exactly how it happens. So all the mothers whom we are relactating, or this is what we majorly focus on, because somewhere there has been a disconnect. And that's why I said breastfeeding is not the result, it's a process.
Okay,
So that's how magically powerful it is if you believe in it.
got it, got it. So the next question is, How can a mother like me, I have already that mother can successfully breastfeed? Is it preparing ourselves from inside is more needed?
Yes, so I always say that preparedness goes a long way because you know what to expect in the initial few days. And once you have the right information, you don't easily go in self doubt. You know, because top feed is something that you can see in a bowl, and oh, it's a bowl full of milk, and breast milk you can't see. It's very natural for you to feel that नहीं मेरे बच्चे का पेट सिर्फ top feed से भरेगा. You know, but if you
Okay.
have that faith and believe that okay, this is how it is, this is what to expect in the initial days, you don't give in so easily. And it's, I think it's majorly those teething issues in the beginning. So in the first 10 days, if you are able to solve all the issues that you're facing, trust me, it becomes like a cakewalk. Like you feel that, oh my God, how can I be scared of something so natural? You know, but if in the beginning days we are not solving those issues, they keep piling onto each other, and then mother ki मन में एक डर बैठ जाता है कि this is not made for me, it's not made for me and my child. And once the mother gives up, once her there is no determination, there's nothing that we can also do as professionals. So the one most important ingredient for breastfeeding is the mother's determination to feed the child. अगर वो है तो हम सब तरीके से help कर सकते हैं, पर अगर वो ही नहीं है तो फिर हम कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते. Then all the knowledge goes down the drain. It is of no use.
Okay. You always prefer breast milk over formula. That's why you are a consultant. But is there any age bound that till this age a mother should breastfeed? Though the government regulation are there that you should breastfeed your child till 1 year, but still there are moms or the healthcare professional suggest that with a start of 1 month the child is not growing. Please give them FM. So what shall we do or a mother should do in that particular situation?
See, top feed was made for emergency, not convenience. So one needs to understand that for all the children who lost their mothers, you know, or for any medical reason, the mother was not able to lactate, because we have mothers who have serious ailments and we cannot afford that her body goes through the whole process of breastfeeding. You know, because she has other metabolism problems or other issues that is more important, is when the top feed was introduced so that a newborn is not deprived of nutrition. That was how the
Okay.
top feed was made. So it is only sorry. It's only and only for emergency. But if it becomes a source of convenience, then yes, it's a problem, because it does no good. Top feed is another form of cow's milk. You know, and one thing which I tell every mother and it resonates with them is that a calf doesn't have to be so smart. A calf doesn't have to be so brainy. You know, you can't compare a cow's child, baby, to your child, because eventually your baby will become an adult who has to make so many decisions. So how do you expect their brain to get developed? How do you expect them to do so many complex activities by giving the food which you're feeding to the cow's child? You know, so the one of the
Got it.
most differentiating factor between top feed and breast milk is the development of the brain. Top feed does not even have 0.01 percentage of the composition to help in development of the brain. It's only and only in breast milk, and as much as the technology is getting advanced, it's unable to add those things because these are living liquids. You know, it gets dyed as soon as you leave them out in the space. So that's the reason why your child is made to have your milk, because no other mammal has to be so brainier, has to have so many complex decisions or complex functions, right? It's only us humans. So how can you expect your child to thrive on any other animal's food, you know, when you want different results? So this is the biggest differentiating factor. And then obviously the choice is yours, what you want to offer your child, whether, you know, and how you want things to be. So this is something which I tell every mother, and then I leave the choice to them to decide.
It makes us so much sense that the brain development is possible due to the breast milk only. Actually, it is an eye-opening thing for me also. I just wanted to breastfeed because I had this, it is good for my baby, it is good for my baby, it is good for my baby. But this point that it develops their brain is certainly all the mothers should know. So now
Yes.
the next question is, I give FM to my child only when I am exhausted. After BFing, how to ensure that I don't get exhausted and give BM only. And I want to wean her off the FM that I give only because I'm exhausted. I am a bit confused in this question. If you're able to get this.
Yeah, so I think if you're exhausted or if it's leading to discomfort, that means something is absolutely wrong. So no part about breastfeeding is painful or uncomfortable. So that's your body sign to tell you that you're not doing something right. Either the latch is not right, the position is not right, something is not right. Because when you're naturally breastfeeding, the release of oxytocin in our body, it induces sleep. It makes you feel calm. It's called the happy hormone. So naturally, when you breastfeed your child, you tend to be feeling better. You tend to be feeling more energetic. On the contrary, mothers who are breastfeeding, they are on a lower risk of postpartum depression because of this happy hormone oxytocin. So for you, I would advise that please get in touch with some professional to know what is not right, that you're feeling exhausted. Because if you are feeling exhausted, 100% something is not right. On the contrary, to give one top feed, you have to do so much tamjam. First get your a bottle sterilized and have a box, have the bottle water boiled. So it's so much of work, and breastfeeding is like on the go food. So there is absolutely no comparison. So please, I think there's something not right. Please get it checked, and then automatically your journey will become much smoother.
Oh, so next question is I have having pain in my particular point in my breast. What it does mean? What does it mean?
Again, yeah, we lost you in the middle, but now we are good.
Well, calls in between the lives force me to lose the connection. So the question I was asking is, I am having pain in particular
Yeah,
point in my breast.
I
What does
answered
it
that
mean?
question. I
You
answered that.
answered that question?
Yeah.
Okay. So how to increase breast milk naturally?
The best way is to increase your milk removal, because it's a demand and supply game. The more you're increasing the demand, the supply will increase. So work on your milk removal. That should help you.
Milk removal. Can you bit explain this? This is the new term for me, maybe, or for
Milk
mothers
removal.
also.
If the baby is not taking enough milk at the breast directly, then you have to start pumping. So basically,
Okay.
your breast, the only way, it's all a mind game. So when the child is sucking, the message goes to your brain that, okay, I need to make milk. But if there is not
Okay.
enough stimulation at the breast, the brain is getting the message that we don't need so much milk. And the brain has so many functions to do that it doesn't want to waste its energy. So it naturally only works or makes as much as the milk is removed. So the more you're giving
Okay.
the stimulation, the more the message you're sending to the brain that no, I don't need X amount, I need 10x amount. And then the body will start making as much.
Yes, mine used to make this much because I always used to pump and I used to pump and just keep it. बच्चे के काम आएगा, pump it and keep it. So my supply was too much. So the next
Yeah.
question is, I am using a nipple shield since I have flat nipples. How can I get rid of nipple shield? Baby is 1 month old.
It's a step-by-step process, which is beyond the scope of this platform. But do not be in a hurry to wean the baby off the nipple sheath. It has to be done gradually. The only tip I would give is that with children, everything has to be gradual. Do not expect anything overnight. कि अब आज मैं nipple sheath दूंगी ही नहीं. That will do more harm than good. It has to be gradually weaned. So just keep that in mind before you go ahead with anything.
So for this question, as Arush tell, you can go for her online consult. She is available for online consultations. Please check her page, Arushi Agarwal, lactation consultant. Am I pronouncing it right, Arushi? Arushi
Yeah.
Agarwal, lactation consultant.
It's
It's
lactation
the
consultant underscore Arushi, but you can see the page on this handle itself, so it shouldn't be a problem.
okay. So for such detailed problems, please connect with her personally. Now, next is my baby is developing rashes on cheeks alone. How many are telling it's cause of the milk? Can you suggest how to manage the rashes?
I'm not sure if it's the milk, because it's the easiest thing to blame. We need to first again go through a detailed history if it's an allergy, or because of something she's ingesting, or because something in the air. So once we rule out the possibilities is when we should check. But please continue feeding, because breastfeed will not do any harm. If it is an allergy because of breastfeeding, तो उसमें दवाई भी होता है, because antibodies develop accordingly. So breastfeeding is one thing जो सिर्फ बीमारी नहीं देता, उसके साथ cure भी देता है. So don't stop breastfeeding until unless you're sure that is the underlying cause.
I have the query. I have read somewhere that applying breast milk to your rashes and to a cut or maybe your sore nipples just cure them. So how can they maybe a cause for a rash? Can it be possible?
It's because of like a food allergy. So whatever the mother eats, a part of it goes into the breast milk. So a lot of times the child is allergic to some protein the mother has had, which can lead to an allergic reaction. But again, that is not a reason to wean off the baby. So skin rash is a very common rash. So we really need to understand that, is it because of breast milk or something else? Even if it's because of breast milk, it's not that you have to stop breastfeeding. You just have to stop eating what is causing that problem.
Okay, figure out the main cause behind it.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Uh, can you suggest some supplements to increase breast milk?
Generally, the food which I recommend, जो अपने kitchen में होता है, is one is jeera, cumin seeds, fenugreek, methi dana, this fennel seeds, soft. Other than that, salt and gone, which is given during our japa. These are 5 very strong, important galactagogues, which is anyway part of our meals. Turmeric, haldi. So if you are just having all that is cooked at home, it anyway takes care of that. So majorly work on milk removal, and you can eat these. You are good to go.
So, you really think that the during Japa, the laddus and the food which we are given are really helpful to us?
Yes, yes, yes. I know mothers would hate me for this, but trust me, it's very much true. I'm trying to bridge the traditional, all the traditional values and systems with the new ones, and there is nothing wrong in that. I mean, I know we hate it because ghee also, which we feel will help us put on weight, it helps in burning all that fat that we put on during pregnancy. So ghee is told it is the new research is that ghee is that अमृत कहते हैं उसको, पंचामृत, सॉरी. तो वो जितना भी हार्ड फैट है वो उसको बर्न करने में हेल्प करता है. So it's not that, okay, you're having ghee, so you'll only put on. So people have biggest aversion towards ghee, that I will become so fat and I'll get bloated. But it will actually help you in losing that fat. So all that food which is given to you post pregnancy, trust me, it's very useful. There's a lot of science behind it. Today, when I pick my literature which talks about herbals to increase milk, it's all about Indian foods. There is no book which does not mention about food in the East, which is our Indian food. So our
It's
culture
like the
is, yeah.
it's like when people didn't has this food, that's why they were going with the routine food, and we had in our tradition from last long, so that's why we were into. And about talking about the ghee is the clarified butter, not so
Yeah,
much the calcious one.
yes, yes, yes. So
Okay,
please have
so
it
the next
without any guilt.
Okay, the next question is we need advice for the pain in particular. Acha, the connection was lost, she's saying. So can you please answer this again? She need advice for the pain in a particular point in the breast.
As I said, there's something not right that you're doing. You have to get your latch and positioning checked by a professional, because majorly it's a sign of your body to tell that you're not doing something right. Pain during breastfeed is not normal, which applies to everybody. So if you are having a pain, please speak to somebody and get it checked that what is the underlying cause, because it's not
Oh,
normal.
okay. She's talking about a particular point she's getting a
Yes.
pain on.
Yes. So
Okay.
it could be a clogged duct. It could be some kind of an infection. There are multiple reasons, but it's not right.
Okay. So the next question is my baby taking only 5 minutes to drink BM. It's correct or wrong because I don't know whether baby is full or not.
again, if she is or he is gaining well, it's nothing to worry. I think we've already answered this question in detail.
Yes, in
Uh,
the starting, we have already answered this question. So we can move on. If you have time, can we take the session ahead, Arushi?
yeah. So can we like check last two questions before we sign off?
Okay, so I wanted to understand, as you have given so many answers to the questions, so people might have got to know the importance of a lactation consultant. Over and above anything to tell to the audience, that why should they connect with a lactation consultant?
So basically, the new research says that when the mother delivers, her right side of the brain stops working. That means her logical brain stops working. If I talk to a mother in terms of numbers and facts, they will be all lost. So you need a counselor. You need someone who can connect with you one on one, and that is where there is a gap in our system. So we have doctors, we have nurses, but we don't have a counselor. So for that is the same reason why a lot of mothers, they connect with me, because I have to come down to their level. It's a normal phenomena, it's a scientific thing. So your one side of the brain stops because there's so much that you've gone through. So I can't talk to them in facts and figures, 5 ml, 10 ml, 50 ml, 2 hours, 3 hours. As soon as I start using numbers, it will be like, that little boy from Tare Zameen say that everything is just like what is happening to us. So you have to talk to them, connecting to them to their level. It's a very heart to heart conversation. And that is what a lactation consultant, that's why we are called lactation consultants, counselors. The word counselors are used in our designation. And every research has proven that any mother who gets some sort of counseling during her pregnancy or motherhood has more likely chances of breastfeeding, because they just need a little nudge, that okay, you're doing fine, it's absolutely okay, that little push, and then they are ready to go. So that little reassurance that comes from a professional. So that's why where we play in role. So we are that bridging gap between a doctor and a nurse. We are neither a doctor, we are not a nurse, but a bridging gap which will just help you smoothen your journey. And that's what we are all striving for.
Okay. So, my next question is, breastfeeding is much more than milk. Okay. This was my question. I wanted you to elaborate. I think this question, which has somebody asked, is related to the same. Can you tell us how food is related to BM, and how should a new mom be careful? So, I think these are two connected questions, maybe.
Yeah. So when I say about diet, like, of course, a part of your food, it goes into the milk. So anything that is causing you any kind of discomfort will lead a discomfort to the baby. So that's very, very important for you. So if you are eating anything which will lead to gas in your stomach, that will create problem for the baby. So that's a thumb rule for every mother to know what to eat and what not to eat. So if any kind of dals, anything is not suiting you, it's better that you eliminate, because that will cause discomfort in the baby. And that's the reason why in our Indian cultures we have a curated diet menu for all the new mothers, and there are already do's and don'ts which are explicitly said. Trust me, they really, really are scientific. There is no
Baki ki sabzi and dalia.
yes, because you have to eat anything that is light on your metabolism, because it's like a new birth for a mother's body also. So anything that is light for your stomach will not cause any kind of discomfort for the baby, and you will start healing better. So diet in the beginning has to be very easygoing. And a lot of mothers ask me, but in the Western culture, mothers, they start drinking juices and fruits on the very day one.
Everything.
Yeah, so it goes back to our roots. It goes back to our ancestors. We are made in such a way. Our lifestyle is such that we are not doing everything by hand. We have so much help in our country, unlike the foreign world, where they are hands-on with their baby the very day one. So our culture and our growth and our lifestyle is such that we need all this food to go back to our old size. And those people would love to have those 40 days of pampering where we don't have to do any household work. But unfortunately, though, they don't have an option. We are actually the blessed one, and we just want to copy them and think that they are the blessed one. But I have some mothers back from the US, and they are like, oh my God, we wish we had that kind of luxury in our country. But they have nothing, and after a point they're also stressed that they have to go back to work. So all that is given to us is a luxury, and if we don't accept it, we just keep cribbing that, oh my god, we have to eat all this not so tasteful food, and what is all this being secluded and blah 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 blah. But trust me, it's a luxury, and the reason why you've been given this time is because all you have to do is focus on bonding with your baby and feed your baby and start developing that bond with your child. So everything is very, very scientific. I am very much from this era and this generation, but I'm still totally supportive of all that is told by our grandmoms. And trust me, even
Yeah.
I ate everything that was told to me to eat. I mean, my mother-in-law can vouch for that. So I did eat, and I feel that it has benefited me in several ways.
So there are two, three questions which are related to the quantity of milk, that how a mother can know the exact ml. Like one is asking that I pump 15 to 20 ml, but my baby takes 90 ml. One is saying how to calculate direct breast milk is enough or over pumped milk, because pump they don't get in pump milk they get the exact ml. So and so this is a different type of a question about quantities. So should a mother get into this quantity wala cheese?
Not at all. If you're breastfeeding on demand, please don't be worried about the quantity. Just keep feeding on demand, because that's not something that you have to really worry about. But if you're pumping, yes, then generally on the weight we calculate the approximate amount the child needs. Again, you can't compare the quantity of top feed and breast milk, because breast milk we're talking about the quality, and in top feed we're talking about the quantity. So if you're directly feeding, please keep your mind off all this, because the baby and the body will take care of it. But if of course you're pumping, then we will have to calculate and come up with a pumping plan.
Okay, so somebody is asking to how to get it. No, please see the video back, because already Arushi has told it before. And if still you didn't get the answer to it, you can connect Arushi for the personal consultation. So somebody asked, can you tell about the breast pumps? Any brand you prefer in manual or in those the electric ones?
No. It's a totally your personal choice. There are no brands. If it's doing good to you, a lot of mothers are happy with the manual also, and electric are just easier. So if you want to say, it depends upon the reason why you need a breast pump. If it's for a very small short period, then manual do well. But if it's for a long period, for premature babies or multiples, then we recommend go to an electric pump. So there are no specific brands. It should just do good to you.
Okay. Uh, Now, how to calculate? This is the same question. How to manage the cravings? What kind of cravings? I think she's talking about the cravings which a mother shouldn't have.
I think it is just a sign of some deficiencies, because that's when you crave. So I just read something that if you're craving for sugar, it's your body sign to ask for protein. So you must dig deep. That I hope you're having a balanced diet and everything is in place. Otherwise, all is good to go.
Okay, so all who are asking for remedies, I request them to please see the live once again, because it will not be possible for us to tell everything from the start. Any particular food to increase BM, we have already told in the live, and any different kind of a question. So I am going with the last question of the session, which is why breastfeeding is much more than a milk, as you told about the brain concept. Okay,
Yes.
but
So
still I come across moms who just give me a reply that because of maybe the COVID scene or some medical connection, their supply has reduced. So still those mothers should try about breastfeeding
yes.
or not?
Yes, 100%. So when I say breastfeeding is much more than milk, I mean that it's just not about the breast milk. The whole act, as I said, of feeding the baby itself is like sanctity, and it's very important for the mothers also. So all the mothers who are breastfeeding, they reduce their cancer of breast cancer going forward. They reduce their chances of being obese. So both the mother and the child are less prone to obesity, diabetes, asthma in their growing ages. On the contrary, when the mother is breastfeeding, a lot of times, another example I'll give is that if the mother is going through some medical ailment, the body puts a pause to it, because now it wants to focus on giving the milk to the child. So that's how powerful it is. So a lot of times the mothers, their diabetes gets cured, because their insulin levels are in check, their sugar levels are in check, and now they don't need as much support of insulin. So when I talk about
Okay.
breastfeeding, it's not only for the baby, it's for the mother also. You know, it is
Okay.
very important for a mother to breastfeed, because your breast, which got developed in the womb when you were in the mother, when you were in your mother's womb, it gets only 100% developed. It completes its full cycle only when you breastfeed your child. You know, and your mammary glands, as we say, it takes about 60% of your metabolic rate, so which is more than your brain.
Oh. So some things are really good to know that you are explaining. I like I didn't know about these facts. I had breastfed for 2.5 years, but I never knew about these facts. I was just thinking that yes, I have to breastfeed my child. It's too good to have this session with you, Arushi. I'm taking the last question. There's one more, mom. My 2 months old sleeps 3 to 4 hours after feed, due to which my supply decreases. If I wake him up, he sleeps at my breast. What am I supposed to do?
I don't think that can be a reason for your dip in supply, because until up till 6 hours there's no dip in supply. So please, I think again, I don't think it's any supply issue. Just feed on demand. And again, if your child is 2 months and if he's gaining well, there's really nothing to worry.
Okay, so it was very nice talking to you and having so insightful things about what a mother can do and how they should be connected to their baby while breastfeeding. I had breastfeed myself. You have a personal question, maybe, that why, what problem you faced that you needed a lactation consultant? Maybe if you can say on a platform. Arushi, you there? Arushi, can you hear me? Grishma, are you able to see me or am I frozen? Okay, so Arushi has left, maybe some connection problem, but we were on the verge of last of our session. Your question you can put down in comments, or you can watch the session again to get the knowledge. I think the session covered a lot more against the questions it was there. So I would love everyone to watch it again and share with whomsoever needs it. Arushi has left, maybe there is some connection problem. So everyone, please do share the session to one uh, who need this session, who need a lactation consultant. We have one in Jaipur, and she is taking online consultations. Okay, so bye for now. I think this will be the last session of this month. I'll be back with some more sessions on the Women's Day, and please stay tuned, and you can join in the giveaway which I am planning to introduce on 1st of March if I am able to do so. Hang on there. Thank you. Bye bye.